Kelly van der Laan, you are an author,
I
and
am.
I assume it's got something to do with either fantasy or science fiction. What is your genre?
Both, all of them. I don't like being boxed in a genre, so I write mostly modern fantasy, science fiction, horror, and everything is in between.
How did you get started as a writer? What made you want to do this?
I've always been writing, so even before I could write, before I was taught to write, I would like draw stick figures and tell the stories to them. So I guess it's just in my nature.
And what was your first book? Do you remember how you got started?
Ooh, a very weird story about a serial killer that was killing teenagers. Yeah,
Aren't all serial killers starting like that?
aren't they? I was
Like every
12.
horror movie starts like that?
Yeah, I was 12 and I was reading a lot of Dean Koontz and Stephen King. So I guess that's what came out.
And then are all your stories taking place in the same world, or are they different stories, different genres?
I write short stories in all kinds of worlds, and I have different two modern fantasy series in completely different worlds. So they're both modern fantasy because I like fantasy that is not the sword and sorcery, etc. So I have sorcery and cars, and sorcery and tablets, and sorceries and just normal people.
That's fascinating. So you try to do something, give it an original spin.
Basically, yeah. I just wanted to. I wrote what I wanted to read. So yeah.
Isn't that the best advice? To just write what you would read yourself?
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
You are your own ideal reader, of course, but there are other people that have just as good taste as you do. So just take it from there.
And I assume that you're still a reader yourself. What are some of the books that you enjoy reading yourself?
That's also hugely varying. I write these days. Read more science fiction because I've read all the classic fantasy in my youth already because I'm old. So lots of things. I really enjoy the Expanse series, but I started out on Robert Jordan and George Martin, and these days, oh, of course, Brandon Sanderson. So lots of stuff. I'm currently reading. Oh God, what's his name? Stephen Taylor. We're Legion, and that's a guy called Bob that has been cloned throughout the universe. So lots of stuff.
Between reading books like the Sanderson stuff, we're not talking about 200 pages, and then writing your own stuff. When do you live?
I also just work full time.
Seriously?
So, yeah, it's not like you get rich over this, unfortunately, not yet. But yeah, it's a hobby. So usually write in the evenings and in the weekends, and whenever I have time, in huge spurts, and then I don't do anything for months. And then there's a frenzy again, and I'm just working on my thing again. So it kind of depends.
What kind of work do you do besides writing, if I may ask?
I work in IT.
In IT. Wow.
Hence the science fiction, I guess.
Yes. You brought two books with you. Can you talk about what these stories are? What are they about?
Um, Translated is the price of water and blood in the water, and they are. I pitch them basically as Die Hard with monsters. So
Oh, now I need to read it.
I get that a lot. Also, I like that. So
Are they Christmas stories?
it is not a Christmas. No, they don't have Christmas in this world.
Because I'm thinking Die Hard.
Yeah, of course, it's a Christmas movie. I know. But it's the idea that you are in a tower and you're locked up with something that wants to kill you. And it's set in a, excuse me, in a Dubai-like setting. So a huge tower and an evil company that is, well, raising the price of water every couple of months. So people are dying of thirst. And a couple of terrorists basically put a magical shield around the tower. Nobody can get in or out. And in the basement, they open a portal to the hell. And poor people that are just working there, the help desk people, call center people, the secretary, security guy, they try to escape. And you follow them through trying to escape from the tower.
That's amazing. And what keeps you going? Because I imagine you told me you write in bursts
Yeah,
and you have like days and you do nothing but writing, writing, writing. And then do you ever get stuck? Do you ever get.
yeah, yeah. I do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
And what do you do when you get stuck? Is there a trick to get unstuck?
I usually write other things. So I write a lot of short stories. I also publish a couple of anthologies with all kinds of short stories. And when I'm stuck with one story, I usually write on another. Or I'm just not writing because I'm gaming, or because I'm reading other things and I don't want to be creative right now.
Right.
So yeah,
It's like a palate cleanser, right?
basically, yeah. That's kind of like that, yeah.
You just wait for the appetite for writing to come back.
Or just a moment that I tell myself, okay, stop messing about, just do your work again. God damn it.
You really need to be like you need to have endurance as a writer, I suppose.
Yeah, there's the short stories are basically like a sprint. So you basically are busy for a week with one story and then it's done. But a series, I also have a series of 4 books, and that took me 4 years to get them all published. So that is a marathon, basically. It's a war of attrition in the end. Yeah.
Do you know who your readers are and how do you connect with your audience?
I don't like to make assumptions about who likes to read this. So I assume that they are people with great taste because I like my stuff. um,
Always you humble, of course.
you gotta. Nobody else does it for you.
Right.
So lots of people to connect with on festivals, of course. I have people that I see every year on Castle Fest or on Elfia here, and they just basically come and say hi or grab my newest, for example. This one just came out last August, so I have a lot of people this weekend that are coming like, I'm getting your newest. And people that have kids and I see them grow up every year and just, talk shit together and just hang out and have fun. Because one of the good things about these festivals is just hanging out with people. I mean, I'm a reader too. I walked around here over the fields as a reader, as a fan as well. And if I wasn't published, I probably still would. But now I have to work.
But that's the fun because writing can be a very solitary occupation. You're writing it alone, but you're actually writing for future people that you're going to connect with.
Yeah, that's super weird. So my first book came out in 2014, and there's still people picking that up. And I moved on at this point. I also like to believe that I got a little bit better. Uh, but people come to me about that story too, and you still have, you connect over that one, and that's just that super special.
In Dutch, we have that saying like "Wie schrijft, die blijft." Who writes will stay. So you there's a little bit of eternity that you inject into the world by writing these stories.
Yeah, well, I got a tattoo on my arm, and it says "Create, Affect, Repeat," and that's basically the idea. In the end, this is
Yeah.
how you stay. This is how you leave something behind. This is your gift to the world.
Right.
This is a motto and a reminder for myself to just keep writing because this is what I leave behind in the world in the end.
How do you hope it affects people? Is it just to entertain, or would you like to somehow contribute something to their life? And if so, what?
Um, Apart from entertainment, I would just like people to. I have some, of course, messages in my books. Be kinder to each other. Listen to each other's stories. Try to think about what somebody else would think. Have some empathy. That kind of stuff. If I would do a little bit with that, that would be great. But if not, it's just popcorn entertainment, and that's also fine. That's where we start, and hopefully the rest will come.
If people would like to check you out and find you, follow you maybe on social media, where should they look?
Um, Internet, I think, is easier. Instagram, I have a account called Rainbows for Kelly. I like rainbows. And Facebook, of course, is easier. I don't have a TikTok. I'm too old for that stuff. Sorry. And on YouTube, I'm mostly a commenter. So, but I will check out your channel.
Thank you so much. Well, it was wonderful, Kelly, to talk to you. All the best for your writing career. And I'm looking forward to Die Hard in, what was it? Die Hard? Die Hard with Monsters.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.